Welcome back to a familiar setting, also known as the title screen, where, well, it feels like it was only yesterday that we last saw this, but then again, the Pacifica Park wasn't all that long. To be honest, if it were up to me and I had to make the expansion and the scenario list, I would have skipped it altogether, or moved it at the start of the park, because really, I mean, what challenge, you know? I didn't think that park to be challenging at all, nor did I find it like special or unique or interesting or any of the good stuff that scenario needs to have. So, having said all that, I think it is best we dwell not too long on Pacifica, lame island that it was, and let us go on towards the next park. And to be fair, this title screen, we might not be seeing it that often anymore. I mean, after all, we are well in the Loopy landscape park. Look, we only have like 5 parks to do, and from what I read in the comments, you know, because, well, I read all the comments, of course, this is a hard park, these are easy, and this is tiny. But then again, if the name doesn't give that away, you know. Anyway, we are up for Urban Jungle, and Urban Jungle we shall do. So, let's pause it straight away, and a giant abandoned skyscraper is a unique opportunity for a theme park developer. Our objective is to have at least 1,200 guests in the park at October year 3, with a rating of at least 600. We cannot charge anything. We have 1 admission in the park, but already 29 guests. Don't know how we've done it, but we've done it. So, yeah, that's our park. We should also have some statistics. Now, I don't know if this is like a lot. I believe 1 tile to be 1 square meter, and if that's the case, then we have a really big park. But I don't know. What I do see is buildings and trees. So let us see what we have here. Oh my goodness! They did what now? Like, seriously? You've got to be kidding me. My goodness, look at this. This is crazy. You know what this reminds me of? Of the Razor Rocks. No, Thunder Rocks. What was the last park in the Vanilla series called? And we had to do like a follow-up with a second rock. You know, like, that's what this reminds me of. The only difference is that we now do have plenty of space around it, so I don't know. We can't go into the underground unless we penetrate the skyscraper. Now, to be honest, I have not ever seen such an ugly and unrealistic skyscraper as over here in the middle of the jungle. You know. Let us have a look at what we have inside. Oh my good lord, you've got to be absolutely shitting me. Height 30. I mean, I don't even think you can go higher as this, in terms of terraforming. So there's like, oh, this is terrible. This is absolutely terrible. Alright. Well, now that we know this, let us get back to, well, what we have to work with. Park is not that small either. This is relatively big for a park. So there's 2 ways we can go about this too. Oh, and by the way, what are the ratings on this? That's bad. I thought that this would have been, you know, like on the inside of the... You know, when you look at it like this, these seems like the same faces of the walls, you know, looking at this. I thought that it would have been built all the way down below, but now that we see the queue line here, we know that's not the case, but I mean, 1,200 guests at the end of year 3, by the way. That doesn't seem that difficult. We had 1,000 guests in the Pacifica Park in March year 3, and we weren't really trying that hard over there. I just left the time running basically all the time. So, rightio, time to have a look at what rides we have available. Good, no transport rides. A handful of gentle rides, decent start, not too bad, you know. This is pretty good. I like it. The only thing we're kind of lacking is a cheap starter coaster with a train, but these are also pretty cheap coasters, and if we build them right, we can also have these make a decent amount of money. Right, not that we can use this, so we only have one water ride. Ooh, not bad, not bad. We have like, that's a coffee shop, so we have 2 drink things, 2 food things, no swag, but pretty decent, pretty decent. Rightio, well, now that we know what we do have, let us get the eggheads in play. I think we want just thrill rides from the start. We have the rest, we have like pretty much not much we need to do there. As for the theming, we have we actually have quite a lot. We have the candy, the mine theming, of course, dinosaur and jungle. Abstract for whatever reason. Matches a little bit here with the building, I guess, but that's about it. And of course, the urban theming, because without it, I don't think this would have even been possible to make, but well. You know what would be really funny? If we build an office block right here. But we're not. So, having said that, we have 0 staff in the park, and we now are here for a challenge, because there's 2 things we can do. Or we remove this and basically just develop around the park, which for me, you know, I consider that to be a legit strategy. Or, and that's the other option, we develop on the top side first and then start filling up over here, which is also a legit strategy, though that does require a bit more careful planning, but it's definitely doable. Yeah, like I said, that does require a little bit more planning. I mean, I'm already thinking, like, if we're gonna do that, then how's our first coaster gonna be, right? Alright. It's a bit of a hard choice, but shall we take this on? What I have in mind is the Nevermore Park with the transport coaster, which I decided to keep too, and was like the worst decision ever. Now we could go for the same decision here, but I kind of feel like maybe it wouldn't be such a bad idea to just develop the park all the way around the building. Just remove all of this, you know, all of this bad stuff here. And then just develop the whole thing around the park and go up here via transport ride, for example. With a path, but only one that's like one way. So you would be able to get here, but only through a chairlift or something. I don't know if that would be a good idea. It sounds rather bad, if I'm honest. I don't know. Shall we do it? This just looks to be such a bad idea. On the other hand, if we do manage to go with this, then we're doing pretty okay. And I think if we don't, we have to expand the path, and that's more expenditure, because else we won't be able to store many guests in the park. Now, another thing that I would like to know is how rich are our guests? And we have 2 guests. I had you, yeah. We have 2 guests walking here. Let's have a look. 80 bucks, 70 bucks, 60 bucks. 70, yeah, okay, so the guests are not that rich, so we need to keep that in mind with our pricing. Right, you know what, guys, I'm gonna keep this this thing here. Oh, but you know, for the staff, this is gonna be like our handy dude's worst nightmare to keep clean. We need like at least 1 handy dude over here, at least. Now, I don't know, how did they do this? Yeah, okay, so they did do the zigzag in like the same column. So then theoretically, this should cover this whole part here. And then all we need is like one more handy dude for the way down. Now in theory, I could let you mow the grass, but just in case, just to be sure, we're also going to get one here. Is this even covering? It is. Nice. And you're gonna cover this all the way up till there. Alrighty. Well, already we're starting out and we're spending money more than we get it. Good. Okay, now that we have made the decision, let us develop the top side here first then, right? I think that would be the more clever way to go about this. Now, as for like how and where to develop what we can do here is... Oh. Yeah, no, what we can do here... Can we do that? I'm thinking like path there, path... Oh, yeah, path. You know, we can connect path from a station that is like over here. And we will be able to hook that up. So this side we can fill despite it being relatively unfavorably situated here. And I think if we get like 2 throw rides, another gentle ride, 2 coasters up here, we're done. You know, that's about all that we need. But before we can get to all of that, shouldn't we quickly get like the basics down? And then I'm talking about the basics of infrastructure and all that jazz. Oh man, look at this. I mean, this is just the worst. This is an absolute nightmare. Can I have like a gallon of petrol? Or a jug of petrol, whatever it's called, a barrel of petrol, just to be able to cut it all down. We're gonna have to be removing so many trees here. Oh well, better get started. There we go. And then we want benches on all of these places, because this will tire out the gas quite a lot. There. Then we should get these, and there. And like that. Alright, done. Good. And that's the essential bits done. Now it's time that we get like the first shops installed. Oh, and you know what we totally did not check? Or said? That is this tower. Yeah. I don't know, but for some reason I think charging 50 cents for this is not the right strategy to go. So we shall charge the full $5 for it for as long as we can, and we should call this why don't we call this Skybird tendrils? Tendrils? I don't know. Are we gonna stick with the colors of it? Yeah, probably. But we will be making at least some money. Now, another thing that we forgot to do is check this out. Just a regular, nothing too fancy. So, alright, guys, alright. Also, I was about to check the park expansion options, but I don't think we need to, as there isn't like any room whatsoever around the corners here. So, yeah. I guess it's time that we get facilities down. Now, because we work our way up here, I mean, in theory, when we do the path expansion here, we should just go like a little bit around, but not too many, because we want rides on the outside, so we don't want to go too big. But shall we do like path expansion here first? Maybe that's clever. Maybe. Yeah, and I think we have the wooden support style here. So, let's see. Yeah, we'll do it like that, which means also we'll have to invest a little bit more in benches here. Also in trash cans. There. But what we'll do is basically, of course, at the start we'll get like the info kiosk, because that's just a thing that always needs to happen. And because we need like a certain amount of guests in the park, what we're not gonna do is charge outrageous amounts of money for umbrellas. So that's what we're not gonna do. Yeah, I think it would be clever to have at least a full set of shops and stalls, like right here at the entrance. You know, in case anybody needs to go to the toilet, you know, from before they enter the park. I mean, that does happen, you know. Guests who enter the park already hungry and thirsty, and like the first thing they want to do is instead of going on a ride, they want to eat, sleep, drink, repeat. Yeah, well, that's from a song that goes a little bit different, but so you know what? We'll do like the drink and the popcorn and the coffee and the chicken. Wait, what? Now we'll do. Coffee and popcorn is a bad combi, and fizzy drinks and chicken, that actually goes together. It's just the popcorn's out of whack. I don't care. Wait, what? We will do something like this. There. And then also this. Come on, game. I can tell you this already. I'm gonna be mightily annoyed at those trees. So maybe it is a good decision that we start out here, because this will save me at least some annoyance, you know, at the early parts of the game. Now, let me see. We also want like a coffee joint here. You know what, we'll just build it all here. And then also the chicken hut. And we'll get that there. Nice. Okay, well, having set this all up, what are we gonna do? Let's have a look. What are we gonna do? I mean, I believe this is a pretty... All of these thrill rides are actually quite good, to be honest. I think we're just gonna start with this one. We will probably be able to fit that in, like, right in the center here. But that feels like such a waste of space to put that there. Shall we put, like, a big one? Oh, let's do a gentle ride here. Let's go with this gentle ride, like, right here at this corner. And then exit there, and then queue a little bit around. Now we want to do stuff optimal here, because you know, if we don't, what we're gonna get is we're gonna get way too long queue lines. I don't want way too long queue lines. So also, because of the entrance style chosen here on top, let's stick with the theme, right? Let's continue having this be an abstract style. Now, as for like how many folks can go on it, wait, what? It was 10 minutes, you game! 16 passengers, also known as 3 queue tiles. That should not be too difficult to manage. Maybe we can even do 4. I think 4 wouldn't be such a bad idea. There. No, that leaves us room to maybe in the future hook stuff up there. So. Now, of course, this needs more entrance fee being charged. I mean, that's not even a question. And then we shall open this up and name this the polycorn. Rather than unicorn, this is the polycorn. And we shall have this be white and white. Or can we have like white and gray? No, we're gonna, yeah, white and gray is good. And then a black. No. Pinkish? Or shall we go with green? How does pink look? Pink looks good. I think we should go with the, by the way, yeah, the polycorn. No, we should go with the fancy coloring here. I think that's a good idea. Now, I know technically we should also get like a handy dude out here, and we might as well, you know, like an extra one. You will be enough to keep the whole upside here clear, because we're not gonna give you this bit, which should, wow, as if it was designed for this. Now we're gonna give you this area so you can keep this path clean here, and the rest we will not care about. Okay? Okay. Now the next thing that we want to build here is the ship, and I'm thinking, like, how are we gonna do like our future rides? I think if we build the ship over here, hook it up, like, yeah, I think we would need to be building it there. That seems like a good plan. Just follow along here for a moment, as I think I have a good working plan here. So just bear with me as I'm trying it out. How many can go on? 12. Right, that seems about right then. Let us just on top here go with the regular signs. Let's make them white. And yeah, I think that this will work, because now what we can do is we can hook up like a future ride. We can connect up with like a, you know, what if we have like a coaster here? And we can connect it up like here and like right behind its back, or over here on the inside. Both are possible, so yeah, it's good. And we got music. That's something that we should not neglect. It's definitely gonna help out. Oh wow, how nice is it to build on top of a skyscraper, huh? How good is it? I do know one thing though. We definitely want this. And have we set? Yeah, we have set. So basically all that's left is maybe a bit of naming and shaming, huh? Naming and shaming. How shall I shame thee? Why don't we call this? I mean, in the end, you know, why don't we call this the incredible kite jump? we should call this serve to the kite to the max. To kite to the max. It's like the weirdest name ever, but we're gonna stick with it. I don't really know what it's. You know, it has no reference there. Oh man. Are we running out of names? Nah, we're not. As for the coloring though, I believe that this red also like the... Yeah, that's also for the entrance, okay. Okay, knowing that, that's what we'll go with. I feel like we have to basically... I just want fancy colors up here, you know? It needs to be rainbow-esque, so... That's why we have all these, you know, these bright and sparkly colors. And then the white, yeah, seems pretty good. What if we do this? Oh, that looks really bad. Kind of like it though, you know, it's a bit out of whack. Usually these are like in contrast to each other. Now they are not. Yeah, let's keep it this way. Also, because we have our third handy dude here, you now already have an extra piece of path to take care of, and we, as coaster tycoons, are ready to construct our very first roller coaster, which is gonna be this one. And let me think here, because we need to be a little bit careful with how we plan things out. I think if we build it over here, then we do have some room to get around and away. Because this needs a lift, but I think we can get this sorted if we build it over here on this line of tiles. Yeah, this should work. How many can you have now? 11? 12 now? Yes. So the entrance will be here. Yeah, now that will work out. That's good. And then what we should do is lift it. And then this is just to get around the corner basically, but It should be able to pull this off. Not entirely sure. We'll see how it goes. Too high for support, you don't say. And we're high enough to go even above on that coaster. Or that ride. Nice. Yeah, there isn't any special track pieces. What I dislike about this is the fact that we now have a curtain of wooden supports on top of our skyscraper-esque terrain feature that we have here. But I guess there's not much we can do about it, right? I mean, it's not like that we can all of a sudden just terraform away this skyscraper. It's a bit too big for that. Now the cool thing would be for us if we were able to go into the underground with this. Which, I mean, unless we want to be really fancy, it should not be too difficult to do. Let me see, let's go to this height. Yeah, so that's not gonna work. So then we need to, and this is the tricky bit here. Yeah, I guess we want to stay at height 34 for a little bit longer. So that we can do this, and then this. What we should do is not blow all our money on this one coaster that we are building here. But I believe right now we should be able to at least get into the underground. Now I want that because that will raise the ratings of this coaster quite dramatically. Oh, and also not an option for us to raise it by any means. That's okay though, so long as we don't. You say what? The thing is too low? Like, really? Okay, if that's the case, so be it. Now I think just to keep this whole monstrosity in the budget, we need to get this like back straight away. Ooh, nice. Do you see what I see here? Booyah. Very nice. Right. I guess it's time for you guys to watch a test ride. Whilst I, the Tycoon guy, go about and quickly hook stuff up here. Come on. Thank you, game. Nice. Wait, what? That was not what I meant to click! Game! 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 And then we do this. And basically... no, we also need the path. Speed on it seems okay though. That's an important first thing to note. We should do this up here. Uppity. Wow. It's a bit long, I have to admit, but it's not that bad, I guess. Wait, what? I get jet skis? What did I do to deserve that? We don't have the ratings yet, but it's only a 1 minute thing. And we have 12. So that's like 60 divided by 12. So like a 5-second interval. Which seems to me as pretty okay. So let us charge $5 for this. Just to get us started. I think that is like a good idea. Virginia rule number 1. Why don't we open you up for business? Wow. It is long though. Now, as for like handy dudes, Are we really gonna need like a fourth one here already? I feel like if we do that, then we're just expanding way too much on stuff. What we will do, because we cannot have crashes here. Well, should in theory trap balls. Then we should do it like that. Now, because it's at the, you know, the exit is at the back, we should be good. Ooh, look at that. 6.25. That's pretty decent for our first coaster. What we need to do now is basically just name it and shame it again. Yeah. What I do like is that it goes above the ship. I think that's a pretty cool feature. And how high was it again? 42. Why don't we call this? Yeah. I mean, how shall we call this? Let's call this Valkyrie. That's a pretty cool name, right? As for colors, we have wooden supports here. What will we be able to do with that? Is it also the track? Yeah, it's the track that colors the... I don't like that, you know. I think that looks lame. And that doesn't look good either. Nor does this. Nor does that. To be fair, let's just go with... no. Let's go with the bright brown. And then, what are we gonna do here? This is like the real big question. I do not want anything green because we have plenty of green down below. I want this to be all like rainbow colors. So we don't have anything bright red yet. Let's go with bright red. And then does the dark the dark red does not add anything. But what we can do is maybe like a light purple. Yes, 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 yes. I do approve. And then these will also be a little bit more contrasty. It looks pretty good to me if you ask me myself. And of course, I'm not someone biased to judge. Good. Guys, do you know what we have set up here? Right on top of this very skyscraper. The very basis of the urban jungle. Was it urban jungle or was it terror jungle? Yeah, urban jungle. We have the very basis of the urban jungle park here set up right for us. And, well, from this basis, we shall have to expand, you know, and try to lure in 1,200 guests and more. And we're gonna do that next time when we play more Rollercoaster Tycoon.